Hello, and welcome to the Vibrant Systems YouTube channel. This is the next in the series of the journey so far, because it's been a while since I've checked in, and if you've watched any of my other videos, you can probably tell the quality of the image is totally different, and that's because I took the leap to buy a proper video camera as opposed to recording on my laptop's webcam. And the difference in quality is honestly still staggering to me, and I'm getting used to it because I had been very comfortable with a lot of my background, a lot of my features even kind of blurred out by this old camera on my laptop. And with the clarity that this new video camera has brought, it's really almost shining a light on some of the insecurities I had around showing up on camera in the first place. And that is not to say that these insecurities should hold me back or that, it's bad to see things more clearly. I think it's actually a beautiful metaphor, this clarity that this camera has brought, because in the same way that the camera is showing more clearly maybe parts of my physical body that I may have been insecure about before, or parts of my environment that I wasn't comfortable showing, I've also been experiencing a huge transformation and kind of a return to a lot of the old lessons that I've been working through over the past year as a business owner, but also as an individual in my personal life alongside my professional life. For example, in my video course that I'm creating, the first one I'm creating, there are a couple on the plan. The first one is called Elements of Self, and it's really rooted in how I started working with the 4 elements: earth, water, air, fire, how I started working with them as a metaphor for how to manage my own self-care and my authentic balance for myself. So earth is often associated with our material condition, our physical body. And for a long time, I was very resistant to either I would go all in or I would totally neglect taking care of my physical body. Water is associated with our emotions. How do we find a flow that doesn't really lead to overwhelm, at the same time doesn't cause a drought in our life? Air is often associated with our mental faculties or our thoughts, our beliefs. And my limiting beliefs have been a huge part of this growth in stepping in front of a camera in the first place. The last one, fire, is often associated with our passions, our creativity, and how do we actually use that in a way that supports a long-term project versus short bursts that leave us burnt out and exhausted. And that's something I came to that work very imbalanced, having totally disconnected from my authentic self. And when I went through that work last year for myself, I found immense value. And as I've been diving into creating these video courses now, I have found that value tenfold as I've returned to these lessons from that new perspective that I have built and integrated over the past year. And it's actually been a really fun and beautiful process for me. But similar to how this camera is really showing things a lot more clearly, I have the ability to see a lot of my limiting beliefs, a lot of my habits, a lot of my ways of moving forward a lot more clearly. And that has been an experience, but I also have the tools now to address these beliefs or these fears or actions, choices from a higher and more grounded place. And I found it's been a lot. I don't want to go too much into it because if this is something that resonates with you at all, I'd love you to check out my video course. You can also just go to my website, vibrantsystems.ca, under services, under video courses, and you can sign up for Elements of Self on the waitlist today. So you can get that as soon as it comes out. The other area of growth that I've really been focusing on while I was waiting for this camera to come to me, because there has been a bit of a lull in my video content as I've been waiting for this higher quality device to come into my hands. And there was a lot of delays in that. It was almost like I was being told, no, focus on building the foundation of some of the things you're focusing on. But again, the other side of this coin is really understanding, or rather really starting to recognize, what does my authentic energy look like? What does it look like for me to show up in a way that's excited? If I'm not excited, do I show up when I'm tired, or do I take a break? What is my relationship with the media that I put out, especially on these free channels, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook? What is my relationship with that? If I go into making a podcast, am I going to commit to doing a certain schedule because that's what I'm supposed to do? Or am I going to move with it more fluidly? These are things I've really had to ask myself, because the way my energy flows is it's not very, I don't want to say not stable, but it's not consistent in the way that a lot of people might find their energy is consistent. I do need significant rest. I do need significant breaks. I need to practice balancing all these different parts of myself. And I want to do that without blaming myself for needing to take this different path. And so when I was working with the elements, they really helped me uncover more about what my balance looks like, my ecosystem, so to speak. What does that look like when I'm combining the earth and the water and the air and the fire? And as I've really been taking on the responsibility of showing up as my authentic self, as I've been really rooting into my body, learning these lessons, bringing them back to the forward, bringing them to the front, we'll go with that. As I do that, I've had to integrate and embody them myself. And I love that I've had to do that. It's been a fun way to reconnect with myself after a year of growth. And it's really encouraged me, again, to step forward in a new way and to actually, again, take responsibility for how I'm showing up. Because as a business owner, as someone who's sharing these video courses that I truly do believe are going to help so many people, I understand that I have a responsibility to almost act as the proof of the work that I did. And I have a responsibility to show my audience that it is possible to integrate these lessons in a way that is supportive of long-term goals and growth. So this is my really short little update. I'm partially still figuring out this video camera, figuring out what strategy I like to use for it best. And it's been fun. I'm not a super technologically savvy person, so it's been a learning process too, but it has been fun. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really excited to be able to bring this new quality and vibrancy to my content, and I hope that you enjoy it just as much as I enjoy making it. If you enjoyed this, I encourage you to follow, or again, visit my website. You can also join my newsletter there at vibrantsystems.ca/let's connect, and let's make your story a vibrant one.